experience like, with the song?
Well, siguro back siya. Can I speak in Filipino?
Of
Yes.
course.
Back siya ko, when I first heard that I was going to be a part of this project, my theme for the album, yung napunta po sa akin ng song, is about the cruelty of this world. So, coming from that perspective, sobrang deep kasi it's hard. It's hard to talk about this world, kasi may mga tao na makikilala tayo, and minsan we think we're their friends, but at the end of the day, there's no one to call. So I included that in the lyrics and all. But the song talks about kahit na may cracks tayo, we go through a lot of things. Just enjoy the journey, because sometimes we think that when we're flawed, we're unworthy and undeserving, but it's actually the opposite. It's a sign of strength, because you did not fall apart. You're still here. Congratulations for surviving life. So that's the story of the song. And also, I also had the idea of the title "Cracks" from this base. No, it's a Japanese art called kintsugi, where they take broken pottery pieces together using gold. And somehow, parang nagsisimbolize ko yung gold na nag-stick together ng mga broken pieces as our struggles and problems. And it makes a beautiful piece, a more unique piece. It's actually more expensive if you buy the broken piece. Yeah. So that's where the idea came from. I wrote it with Tito Jonathan, Manalo, and my dad, my papa. So I had fun working on the song and learned a lot while I was working through it. Cried a lot while I was working with the song.
Yeah. Syempre, like, oh my goodness, like that experience, diba? Trying to embrace your own cracks in our own life. Of course, that's also very hard to come to terms with. Syempre, you have to look at yourself, evaluate din yung mga not usual na parang pinag-iisipan natin about ourselves. And that's very, very relatable. I feel like a lot of us feel that we have a lot of cracks, no, in ourselves, also our lives. But I like that you use that whole Japanese it's like a process, or like the whole Japanese thing as well. I think that was, yeah, that's very interesting. No, parang it's more like you said. It's also actually more expensive with the actual cracks and stuff, which we don't think about. No, that we are made up of many cracks, and that makes us beautiful in our own way as well. And Trisha, you mentioned that you learned a lot, during while you were creating yung kantang to. So could you tell us about, like, what are some of the things that you learned maybe about yourself or life when you were creating crafts?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts in the song, yung part ko na sinabi ko kanina about having people around you, but there's no one to call. You really need someone. I also like the point where I talked about the perfection of social media. Yung tingin natin lahat perfect sa social media. So sometimes we get insecure na parang, ay, ba't sila nandun na, ako nandito pa rin, and so imperfect. But reality is, lahat naman po tayo pare-pareho lang. We're all human beings trying to survive this world. So
True.
just embrace the journey. Have fun in life, and not everything has to be perfect. Actually, perfect is boring.
Yeah. Yes. That's so true.
Yeah, I like that part in the song, the second verse.
That's so true. O, diba? Monday na Monday, we're talking about these reflections to carry on throughout the week, which is so true, diba? Like, perfect is boring, What makes life interesting is what makes us different from each other. So thank you so much, Trisha Denise, of course, for sharing your process with cracks. But let's get to Lumi, because the next song that I actually released off of My Safe Place was Surrender by Lumi. So could you tell us more, Lumi, about your track, Surrender, and what your process was like when you were creating the song?
Yes, Surrender is actually written and composed by Sir Rock Santos and Patricia Denise. And when I heard the song, nung for the first time, I remember parang naiiyak ako kasi sobrang nakarelate ako dun sa song. Because sometimes we feel na parang burden po tayo sa ibang tao, we don't want to share our problems. Parang sometimes we feel na mag-isa lang tayo sa mundo. But hindi ganun yun. We are all loved by our family, friends, di ba? Maraming nandyan for us. But hindi mo maiiwasan yung feeling na parang mag-isa ka lang dito. So for yung surrender, kasi it's not, parang hindi siya weakness, yung surrender. Pag surrender, actually brave ka nga if mag-surrender ka and i-let go mo na. Minsan kasi pag masyado mo siyang iniisip, lalo siyang bumibigat. So, for me, i-surrender mo lang siya, i-let go mo. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Importante, hindi dapat natin tinatago sa sarili lang. Kasi dumadoble lang yung feeling. So, sobrang nakarelate ako doon. Sobrang amazing ni Sir Rox and ni Trisha. So,
Ooh! And yeah, I totally agree with what you said, no? Oh, sorry, Trisha, go ahead.
Credits to her because she sang it so well.
yeah. Syempre with the guidance po of Sir Rox, hindi ko din siya maayos.
Yeah, and I feel like it really portrayed, no, yung meaning ng kanta and the feeling of the song then. And it's very important that you know that surrendering is not a sign of weakness but rather a strength. That's true. You know, being able to let go and just let it be, I think is definitely hard. Madami makaka-relate dyan, but it really is a sign of strength and bravery. Ikaw ba, Louie, like, have you felt that way in your life na, you know, it can be hard, but you really have to surrender sometimes?
Yes. Aming best na actually. Kaya sobrang, I remember when we were recording the song, parang Sir Rox asked me, are you okay? May pinagdadaan. Pero at that time, parang gusto ko lang na feel yung song. Gusto ko lang ilabas yung emotions ko. Kasi may times talaga na gano'n eh. I think lahat naman tayo may dark times talaga. Pero you just need to surrender and let go. Parang tiwala lang na everything is better. Kahit ano mangyari, hindi naman tayo bibigyan ng pagsubok na hindi natin kaya. So, ayun po.
I love it. Dami nating quotable quotes for the rest of the week today. Diba? Bongga on a Monday. I love it. But I also do want to ask Sir Rox, though, of course, when you were thinking of the song, you had a certain way or certain sound na gusto mong parang gawin with the track. So how did it, you know, when you were recording with Lumi, of course, how did that play out? And kamusta naman po yung process for Surrender?
Good afternoon. No? Actually, nag-recording kami ni Lumi. Actually, kinausap ko muna siya. Kinausap sabi ko, itong song kasi is very emotional, so I need talaga the emotion. So, kailangan malaman yung emotion dito sa song na to. So, nag-brief ako sa kanya na kailangan, may parts na kailangan na parang medyo mabigat, tapos may feelings dapat. So, ayun, kasi when you listen to that song, ang magic talaga ng song is yung puso, kung paano siya kinanta galing sa puso.
Yes, and we can hear it's coming from the heart talaga, Lumi. So you did such an amazing job on Surrender as well. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of insight. Yes, of course. You know, the whole team behind this, of course, is just amazing, and being able to come to show all of the emotions that go into all of these tracks. So, but let's get to Kiri, who was the next release for Get Well Soon. So could you tell us more, Kiri, about the track and what was it like, you know, doing the track?
Well, Get Well Soon was actually written by Sarah and also Trisha Denise. And, you know, when I received the song back, I think it was mid last year, right? I was going through a very tough time personally. And so when I received it, it felt like a letter written to me. And at that time, you know, I was so excited to sing this song because it's all the things I needed for myself. And maybe a little bit more about what the lyrics are and what the song actually means is that it's kind of a reminder to yourself, because I think life sometimes can get so hard for us, and you know, we kind of beat ourselves up about it. But Get Well Soon is kind of like a personal reminder to yourself, like, hey, get well soon, you know, things will get better and I will be happy. And all I need to do is to persevere and do my best. Yeah. So when I received the song, and by the time that we recorded it, I was feeling so much better, and I could pour all of that lovely energy and heart, all that care and love for myself, for the people who will hear this as a letter to themselves as well, that we all will get well soon, and we just need to, take care of ourselves and have faith and have hope.
Oh, I love that. I love that, at that time you were struggling with your own personal things, obviously, but the universe works in mysterious ways, and it presented to you this song, and it was something that helped you through what you were going through at that time too. But I'm also really curious, obviously, going through your own personal matters and also having to work on the track, which is also very personal. How do you kind of navigate through all of those feelings and translate it into the song?
I think, so I'm a singer-songwriter, so like we write our own songs as well, and we kind of pour our emotions into it. This was written so beautifully by Trisha and Ross that all I really needed to do was to pour how it felt like to me if it was coming from me, So it's very gentle, it's light, it's high and beautiful, and especially when you say all those positive words, that they come from a positive place, so that it makes me feel beautiful, it makes me feel, appreciated and loved, and I just hope that, the audience can also hear through that, so that's how I translated it.
I love that, having positive feelings, and it'll be real for you if you really believe them. And when we do listen to the songs on the EP, if we really believe you guys, I feel like it'll really help us through whatever we're going through right now. I mean, we all have our own personal things, so always keep that in mind, we're not alone in this. There are people who also experience the same things as us. But thank you so, so, so much, of course, to Kiri for sharing more of your experience with the track. But let's get to Kotoji, who did Survive as well. So, Kotoji, hello! Can you tell us more about Survive and your experience with the track?
Hi. Yes. So Survive in particular, it's really a song that's meant to be a companion through a difficult night. I think something that we don't always talk about when it comes to mental health is that a lot of things that people experience, whether that's with bipolarism, depression, anxiety, manic episodes do happen, and it's not something that you can avoid. It's stuff that occurs frequently, or at least on a consistent basis. And I think the song is meant to be that form of encouragement to whoever is going through these moments, that as the Survive is really about.
Yeah, and that's so true. There are certain things that, especially when we're dealing with our own mental health, we can't avoid. Like, our mind just kind of has a mind of its own too, so it really does certain things at given times that we're not expecting. But I totally agree. It's not. It happens to everybody. Like, it doesn't choose certain people in the world. It happens to everybody. Everybody struggles with it as well, which I think Survive has such a powerful and moving message too. But for you, Kotoji, personally, what does this song mean to you, and how does it relate to your own personal experience?
I think when I was writing Survive, and when Sir Jonathan and I were really kind of conceiving I think it kind of also somewhat started with Survive in a way. I remember thinking very much about my friends. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. All my friends struggle from some form of, mental illness or difficulty with their mental health. And I have been there with them literally at the doorstep of whether they're still around or not. I've personally been through, moments where my friends attempt certain things. And I just remember when writing the song, I just thought about how it's so hard sometimes, especially during the pandemic. I think a lot of people can relate when you're going through a difficult time, you're not able to physically be there with the person. And now I have a lot of online friends as well from other parts of the world. I just wanted to write something that, they can go to in these times to listen to me and hear my voice tell them that they don't have to go through it alone, that they will survive. It's kind of like a little voice note that you can replay during times that are tough. So that's kind of how it really.
Yeah, like a constant reminder that although things are going not as good as we imagine, we will get through them, which I think should be a constant effort. But at least we do have a track like Survive that will always keep us, like help us remember these things as well. But thank you so much, Kotoji, for sharing your experience with Survive. And last but not least, we also have the track coming from Marian Carmel, which is Wish That I Could Tell Me Hello. Hello.
Everyone.
So could you tell us more about your experience with Wish That I Could Tell Me, your track off of the EP?
Hi everyone, so my name is Marian Carmel. My song is Wish That I Could Tell Me. If I'm not wrong, I think I was the last addition to the project. And it was one fateful night that I just wasn't doing anything. And I didn't have anything planned. And my manager said that, hey, Sir Jonathan and Sir Rox and also Angie want to come have dinner with you. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So went out for dinner, and then I found out about this project. And I was really touched kasi, sir, tabi siya lang ako.
Go girl.
Meron pa akong like personal experiences with mental health. And when I found out more about it, I knew that it was a project that I wanted to be a part of kasi I had such a strong connection with it. And back then, when I was like 19 years old, my first single was about believing that I wasn't gonna get better. Kasi nung 19 po ako, I was diagnosed with panic disorder and going for therapy. I was taking medication every day. Pero I just felt like I wasn't getting any better. And it was really, really tough to go through that. Sorry, medyo naiyak ako. Tapos, okay lang, baka mamaya mas naiyak pa ako. I wrote this song after finding out that this project was about mental health as a letter to myself from when I was 19. Kasi some things that I needed to learn, some things that I needed to hear, and
Oh no!
yun, in essence, these were the things that I wish I could tell myself back then. So, that night, same night, after dinner, uwi ako. Tapos, sulat ako ng kanta, yung first verse, tapos yung chorus ko. Tapos, produce ko yung demo, nirecord ko yung vocals, kahit na inantok lang. Tapos, sinend ko po kay Sir Jonathan. Tapos, natuwa po talaga sila, sabi na, this is great. Kasi meron ka talagang story na, sarili mo. So, that week, bago sila umalis po, nirecord po namin yung demo. Tapos, we worked on the second verse together. Tapos, yun, gawa na.
Wow!
So, yeah, it really means a lot to me kasi para siyang answer dun sa first single ko. And it's full circle for me kasi, yun nga, parang, throughout all those years, malalaman mo talaga the things that you've learned. At saka, something that people don't talk about, especially when it comes to mental well-being, is, you learn how to cope with it. Pero some days talaga, kahit na 6 years later pa, it still, like, creeps up on you. Na lang, maging better. Yeah. Yun po.
Oh my gosh, I love the whole full circle moment for you. Syempre, it's not easy, no? Like you said, even though you learn to live with, trying to balance your mental well-being, sometimes it's just really difficult on more difficult on other days. But we're so proud, Marian Carmel, of course, that you're able to share this with us. But I do want to hear from Sir John, no? What was it like? Kasi after nung dinner, boom, very efficient to si Marian Carmel, like being able to deliver a demo after just talking to you guys. So ano po yung naging reaction ninyo when you heard what she came up with?
So impressed. Yeah, we were talking, Angie and I were talking when Angie first let me listen to the rap demo that Marian sent. I told Angie, wow, this is gonna complement the album. This is the song that we're looking for to to complete the album, because we've been looking for that final song.
Yes.
To complete My Safe Place, because this is the last song that came in the project, and it's a perfect fit for all of the songs in the album, and yeah, it's like a perfect how do you call that?
Circle.
It's a perfect circle.
Resolution.
Yeah, it's a perfect. It's a good resolution. It's like going back to yourself when you. It's going back to yourself when you feel like helpless and don't know how to deal with it, and being in this being in the present situation wherein you already know how to deal with it, and somehow admitting to your weakness as a human being, that still the same, you're gonna get through the same pain maybe, but at least you will know how to handle it this time because it happened already in the past. But still,
Iyak.
but still, for the people who are suffering some mental health problem, we all know very well that you just can't say for it to stop. You just can't tell it to stop because it will happen all over again. Maybe the same level of pain, maybe the same level of darkness. But one thing's for sure, you will get through it because you've been through it. So yeah, so that's the that's what actually
It's very emotional.
telling
Yes. For the iyak ng mga person today, guys. Grabe.
own self is helpless and like don't know what to do. But the good thing is that the next time it happens, at least you know what to do.
Oh, diba? Wow, on a Monday morning, you guys. I love it. We have all of these insights, of course, for a very, very real experience. Like we keep saying, this happens to everybody. It doesn't choose anybody. We all deal with our mental health in our own ways. But the bottom line is we all deal with it. Obviously, it's something that you have to go at every day. But thankfully, we do have an EP like My Safe Place that reminds us that all of these experiences, we're not alone. Other people also deal with it. And it's a good reminder for all of us that we will get through the tough times. And there's also a group song on the EP, which is My Safe Place. So what was it like working on the track all together as a group, of course, from very talented artists like yourselves?
Shout out to Jeremy G.
Shout out Jeremy. Shout out Jeremy.
Shout out Jeremy G. Shout out to Jeremy.
Jeremy is part of the writing team that wrote My Safe Place together with Angie, of course, and Rox. And we sat down one evening. I think that's quite late already.
Yeah,
9
it was.
p.m., 9:30.
I remember it was like 9 something. And so Jonathan and Sir Rox actually gave us kind of like the rough brief.
Yes.
And then from there, actually, I'm very, very grateful to both Sir Jonathan and Sir Rox because as a singer-songwriter, I'm very used to writing on my own. And writing together with other people in a room was a very eye-opening experience. And I'm always very grateful for that. It was such a great experience seeing how we all wanted to really kind of conclude the project. Because I think when we were talking about it, we didn't want it to be kind of like too mellow or too sad.
Yeah.
Like epilogue feeling,
Yes.
like at the end of like a film.
Something that will uplift you.
Yes.
Something that's lift up your spirits when you listen to it and just feel good about the song. And then while we are collaborating, I told Angie, Rox, and Jeremy, be vulnerable. And I told them, let's make this place, the studio, a safe place for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, di ba kapag we are in our most vulnerable moments, we tend to go to that safe place. Especially if we want to share a problem or we're undergoing something, depression, anxiety, we run to that safe place. It can be an actual place or a person or anything that you will feel safe and you can like release everything that you want to release. So I told them, the song should talk about that. Going to that safe place. When you need that, there must be some place, someone, somewhere that you can feel safe and just release everything. And after that, you'll get the peace, the inner peace that you need. So that's how the song, that's how we intended the song to be. So yeah, that idea, we finished around 1 a.m. Is it?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
From 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's a very inspired collaboration. We finished the song, and we're very proud of it. And it's now what you're hearing right now. So
Yeah.
that's the story of that collaboration.
Yes, and you should be very proud of it. I love na in the process of creating a song called My Safe Place, gumawa din kayo ng safe place on your own, in that own environment. Honestly, you have to have a safe place to be vulnerable, like what Sir John said, diba? And I love na, it's really true. Our safe place can be people, can be a group of people, can be music, can be shows, can be an album even. So, hopefully My Safe Place, the EP, can also serve as a safe place for everybody who is looking for, comfort or just a way to kind of, relax themselves from what they're dealing with in their own personal life.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's actually our goal for the album, for people undergoing mental health struggles, for them to just go to Spotify and play the song, and play the songs in the album. And we hope that the album and the songs in it will become a safe place for the listeners out there who wants to be inspired, to feel secured, and to have their sense of inner peace while they listen to this album.
Yes, definitely. I think I can imagine it, while you're listening to the album, you can write in your journal, you can write all of your feelings, let it out. I think that would be the perfect safe place for me personally, to listen, the listening experience of My Safe Place. But that's the beauty of it. Everybody has their own ways of dealing with what they're going through, and My Safe Place can definitely serve as something that will help you find inner peace as well. So we want to thank you, all of the artists behind the My Safe Place EP. Congratulations, of course, on this release. But we'd also like to acknowledge some of the people behind